Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is episode 1 of the API. So let's get on with it. We have Visual Studio Code. Yes, the strange text editor that I'm using. It's an interesting little beast. So, source. Yeah, let's have a new source, a new folder. We're going to be doing an API, so let's do an API. There we go. Today's files are going to be, let's see, texture, loader.h, and new file, texture loader.cpp. Things are looking good. Now, this is going to be slightly different because we have this image.h. I'm going to pull that down. There we go. I'll open it here. And we have to do, well, these two lines really. Let's copy those. And pop them in here. There we go. We need to put those two in. It tells us to, so we're going to. Need to include the header file. TextureLoader.h. There we are. And give it a bit of space. There we go. That's that done. Now, I'm going to do something which I don't normally do, which is I'm going to try and compile this to make sure that our library is actually doing what I'm thinking it's going to do. I'm going to need glue as well. Yep. I definitely am, because we're going into OpenGL territory here. Now, if I'm right, it's in my GL. Yes, it is. On this computer, it's there. I don't know where yours is going to be. It could be in a header file that you downloaded or whatever. I'm not too sure, but on Linux, I know I've got it installed, so I'm quite happy to do it that way. I'll need file names and stuff, won't I? So I'll have string as well. Yes, good old string. That'll do that. And a couple of spaces. So what I'm going to do now is try and compile that. To do that, I'm going to first of all need some libs. And that's plus, oh no, plus equals. It's a library. I'm going to need glue. We will be using later on glfw. And of course, I'm going to need OpenGL itself. Oh, can't do it that way. Minus L, GL in capitals. Okay, minus L in lowercase. There we go. That's the libs sorted out to make sure I've got them all so we can use them. Yes, let's put the files here. Here we are. So it's going to be source, API, and I just want texture, loader. I've done this in singular, not plural. Yeah, loader.cpp. Down here, we'll go in for source. Ooh. Source API. And I want the STB one, don't I? Yeah, STB underscore image dot H. Yep, looks good. And source API, and that's just going to be texture loader.h. Double check myself. TextureLoader.h, STB image.h, TextureLoader.cpp, and a lot of libs, or a set of libraries, should I say. I know I'm going to be using these, so I may as well put more in at this point. I'll save that out, and it's Control-Shift. Build B. Does it work? Oh. I've got a load of secure warnings. Did it work though? Blah de blah de blah de blah. Well, it has done. What's all this rubbish? Oh, it's just telling me, yeah, what it's putting out. Yeah, that's fine. Make sure it's asked. Oh, yeah, might as well. Yeah, okay. Okay. Right, yes, it's all come from the OBJ loader. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Checking through now that we've got everything. TextureLoader. Yeah, it's worked. It's worked fine. Absolutely fine. I'm just wondering whether to use that or not. Yeah, it gives me pretty messages. I'm happy with pretty messages. I don't mind. Right, let's do this header file. Okay. So let's get some namespaces going, shall we? May as well. I don't like my microphone where it is. I keep turning my head to the right-hand side. Come on, microphone. Let's come more central. Thank you. Excellent. I can now relax a bit more, or a bit better. Namespace. Here we go. This is better. Amber. And namespace is going to be API. There we go. And this is going to be class TextureLoader. I'll have that in capitals, please. Texture loader. Say it looks official. Pop that in. Here we go. So, come on, computer, catch up with me. Just save that out, make sure it knows that I'm for real. Thank you. Yeah, everything's looking okay. Everything's looking okay. So what we're going to do now is we are going to write our header file. And the header file for this is pretty straightforward, nothing too complicated. So we're just going to set up some variables. What we're going to need. We'll need an unsigned int, because OpenGL loves its unsigned ints, and we're going to make this the texture ID. Yeah, I'm happy with that. We're also going to need our std, standard library, string. We're going to use this for the file path. So that's, yeah, let's call it file path. Yep, that's okay. I'm happy with that. Get out of the way here. I keep forgetting to move me cursor thingy. I'll just pop it off screen. There we go. What else am I going to need? We're going to need something along the lines of a buffer, a local buffer. This is going to be a temporary storage device, so that we can read in the texture and send it through to OpenGL. So let's have, it's an OpenGL thing again, isn't it? So it's an unsigned. I'll go for a char star because we'll need a pointer. We'll just need the address of the buffer. So I'm asking to set up a variable that is an address for our, we don't know the size of it, so it's just m underscore local buffer. Ah, Bayek. It's a local buffer. Spelt wrong. There we go. It's a local buffer now. And we'll need a few ints to measure its width. Its height. And something strange called bits per pixel, is it? BPP? Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, all of that will be able, from that I can measure the file size and other details that OpenGL will want to know. So that will give us enough information for us to be able to send this through straight to OpenGL. So that's nice there. We'll have a public area. Texture loader. It is obvious what I'm going to put in here. It's just going to be the standard string for a file path. But no, I only want the address of it, please. I don't need the actual file path itself. The variable will be set elsewhere. All I need to know is where it is. And that will be in OpenGL loader, I think, which is next bits and pieces after the texture loader. Nice. So, come to that. Not going to bother with a destructor. We do need to destroy m_text_id, but we will be passing it somewhere else. Yeah. It'll get destroyed there. Or will it? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. I don't know. We'll work out destructors after. Depends where do we need them. OpenGL. What does OpenGL need? It will need some way of knowing when we want to use the texture and a way of knowing when we don't, when we're finished with it, when we're finished using it. So in OpenGL words, that is called bind. When we want to start using it, it's OpenGL, so it's an unsigned int. Always is. I'm just going to call it slot. And I'm going to give it a default value of 0, because 0 means it's not in use. So if nothing is entered, or if we just put bind without a value in, it's just going to revert to slot 0, which is nothing bound. It's a little trick, that's all. That's a const. Yeah. And of course we'll need void unbind. I've just told you what that one's going to be. Unbind. That is just nothing in it. And again, it's a const. There's nothing going to be changing in there. There's nothing to those. I could actually write them here, to be honest with you. But nah. We'll keep that free from that, I think. In case we need them, I'm going to put in a couple of inlines in. I don't normally do inline, but in this case, because of what it is, we might just need it within our OpenGL parts. We will have a get width. You know what's coming up next. It's, again, not rocket science, this part. Am I allowed to do it in line? I think I am. Might not be able to. A non-static. Yes, it is. It says it there. It is static. Oh, bless. Oh, Microsoft, you are so silly. And we'll have a get height. H-E-I-T. Yeah, I can't spell for the life of me. You may have noticed that. Simple, straightforward code. It's going to go through his stupid error sequence, is it? And we might need the ID. So that will be an unsigned int. You can see why before I was using unsigned ints everywhere. It's because OpenGL uses unsigned ints. It actually uses something called GLUint, which means an OpenGL unsigned int. There you go. Which I'll show you later. It's quite funny what it actually is, on this system anyway. I don't know if it'll be the same on yours, but I know what it is on this one already. And it's quite funny. So that's the text ID, isn't it? Yeah. There we go. I think that should do it. That looks like the kind of standard header file that I've done. All we've done is we've added a couple of functions in there, a bit of functionality to bind and unbind, or to start using and to stop using. That really is your texture. So you load your texture, you can then bind your texture, and you can say you finish with it, you can unbind it again, using the texture and the texture IDs and stuff. We can get hold of them when we need to, and we can get the width and we can get the height, so we know that kind of information in case we need it as well, which funnily enough we may. There we go. So I guess that's part one. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. We've got the file set up. We've shown that STB image can be used, and as my voice is breaking, I think we're ready to go ahead and do that. Make sure preference is working there yet. Right, yeah, we're ready to go ahead on this, aren't we? Yeah, can't see why not. So in our next feature length episode, what we're going to do is our TextureLoader.cpp and see if we can get it all working nicely and building nicely and doing what it's supposed to. We do have a texture, don't we? Oh, we've got 3. Well, I'm going to preempt this. Resource. New folder. Textures. How about that? Got our object files and we've got textures. It's in there. Move those down into textures. That's just preempting, really, of what's going to happen next. So we do have textures in our resource textures. Excellent. Fantastic. There we go. So glue I haven't spoken about yet. We will do in the reason why I'm cutting this short now is because I want to speak more in length and in detail during the texture loader about what I'm doing rather than do it here. So enjoy, take care, and have fun.